Another big update to the armor system and another updates to health, grip points, and some other things in the new 0.6.1 release for DC20. What is DC20? New tabletop roleplay game. If you haven't seen it, there's tons of other videos on this channel. And who am I? I'm the Dungeon Coach, creator of DC20, and I'm here to share with you the armor system, showcase what new cool things it can do and why we did it in the first place, and some of the other stuff in this very simple little update as we lead and approach towards the Kickstarter. That's right, June 4th is the date. Links down in the description. Make sure you get notified. There's going to be some massive early bird reward tiers I'll talk about in other videos. But we're going to talk about the armor system. I'm going to show you guys, literally show you the armor system and kind of walk you through it, the big picture. What's the goals? Why are we even changing the way armor is? The goals of this armor system, of why to change anything, you should always have goals you're trying to fix, right? One is to tune down agility a little bit. I don't want people to feel like they have to do certain things. When creating a tabletop roleplay game, I don't want people to have to feel like their arms tied behind their back. Oh, I gotta have agility, and then I guess I get to have choices. No. I want you to be able to choose where you can put your attributes out. You have 4 attributes: might, agility, intelligence, charisma. Where are you going to put them, right? I don't want you to feel like you have to, and it's the obvious choice to put into agility since it has to do with your physical defense, and that's just so good, right? So this armor update makes it to where that's not necessarily the case. You don't have to have maxed out agility to have good armor. You'll see why. And then also make it more simple. Just make the armor system more simple. Right now, there is different values for light and heavy armor as far as the bonuses they get, so it's not as easy necessarily to remember. The new system changes that. And the modifications, they each have 2 different modifications, whereas now it's been streamlined into 1 modification you can modify any armor of, and 1 that's unique to light, 1 that's unique to heavy, for a total of 3. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Here it is. This is the armor system. Just to do the quick overview, this is what's going to actually be in the PDF live now that you see this. Also, that's another announcement. The PDF is now dropped to the full access to the game, the alpha of the game. And all future updates to the alpha are going to be in this down in the description as well. The price is now dropped to 10, and it's going to keep dropping as we get closer and closer to the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter is where the beta is going to be, and the full game and all that kind of stuff. So anyone who backs the Kickstarter is going to get the full game. But anyway, there's that. And then there's also use code ALPHA5 off, and you get $5 off the alpha. So it's actually technically, if you've watched this video and you know this, and there's the words are in the description too. The whole dang game is now $5. Link down in the description, alpha 5 off. You get the idea. All right, here we go. Armor. There's armor quality. So the big thing with armor is there is 3 qualities right now. There is probably going to be a 4th, and you'll see, and you guess what that could be. Novice armor is what you start the game off with. All novice armor is +1. That's right. This is a slight nerf to heavy armor in this aspect, but you'll see the armor modifications. So now all armor is +1. So light armor, if you put it on yourself, +1 to your physical defense. Great. Heavy armor, you put it on yourself, +1 to your physical defense. You are wearing something that's protecting you from being hurt. It's armor. Whether it's light or heavy, it's +1. Very easy for dungeon masters and players now to remember. You have novice armor, it's a +1, straight up. And you can get better masterworks and crafting and other kinds of things from better blacksmiths and better leather workers, whatever. You can get better armor as you level up and stuff at higher ends of the game, right? But everybody starts off with a simple +1. Heavy armor, now, we have the types of armor, which is where this comes in. Light armor is pretty basic, pretty standard. It is essentially just +1. That's all it literally does. It's like the baseline. Heavy armor, though, just like it was before, is what you get. One physical damage reduction. Physical damage reduction reduces the damage you take from hits by 1, and that's it. There's heavy hits and brutal hits in DC20. Those get bypass damage reduction. That's a whole nother thing. I have videos on that as well. But that is what makes heavy armor stand out. That's what makes heavy armor 1 notch better and more defensive, is its access to physical damage reduction. That's one big thing. Comes with one drawback, though. Disadvantage on agility checks. That's right, acrobatics, trickery, stealth, all that kind of stuff. The agility checks have disadvantage. So there's your pro and con for heavy armor. And it does have a might requirement of 1. Don't forget about that. So that's light armor, that's heavy armor. But now let's show this all very cleanly in the table. If you're wearing nothing, there's no bonus, no physical damage reduction. You can add as much agility as you want, right? Because part of the agility formula, or part of the formula for physical defense, is agility. You basically add your agility. And now that agility, now that formula for physical defense is 8 which everyone, it's a base of 8 plus half your level, which is your combat mastery, which at level 1 is just 1, and it scales with you as you level. So that's 8 plus at level 1, it would be just 1. 8 plus 1, we have 9. And then you put armor on is another plus 1, which gets you to 10, a nice and clean 10. 8 as the base plus half your level, which at level 1 is 1, and plus 1 for your wearing armor, brings you to that nice solid starting point of 10, and then you just add your agility. And that's a super simple way. Oh my gosh, when you're making characters and when you're checking the stats, make sure everything's good, 10 plus agility. And that's literally everyone's armor starting the game off with. Super simple. And this also is what the agility bonus is. It lets you add your agility. Done. So whatever your agility is, you add it. Yes, you would subtract, so watch out for that. But this talks about agility checks. Heavy armor has disadvantage on that. Cool. And then might requirement of 1. Cool. Now, that's what this all that stuff explains. Here's the modifications. There are 3 modifications: reinforced, sturdy, and dense, right? Reinforced, any armor can have. Light armor can have it, heavy armor can have it. It's a choice. What it does is it increases, is a benefit, a boon that helps you. It increases your physical defense by 1. Awesome. At the cost of the amount of agility you can add to your PD can't exceed your prime modifier -2. Here's what that means. As you can see in this little chart right here, reinforced, it says prime -2. So instead of, remember it said unlimited before. Before it said unlimited. Whatever your agility is, you add it to it. Great. And at level 1, your maximum of agility is 3 because your prime attribute, which is the highest your attribute can go, is 3. So 3 is the highest it can be. But if you choose to put reinforced on, you're not going to be able to add all of that agility. It's prime -2. So at level 1, your prime is 3. Prime -2 would get you to 1. So this makes to the max agility bonus you can add to your armor only 1. So this is similar to in Dungeons and Dragons, how whenever they have armor and certain armors like medium armors and heavy armors or whatever, they have a maximum of like a max of 2 that you can add to your agility. So no matter how high your agility is, you can only add a maximum of 2. This is DC20's version of doing this, and it also scales with your level because it's tied to your prime modifier, which starts off at level 3 and then goes to 4 or 5, and it will grow with you as you level up. So prime, which is 3, -2 basically makes the max of 1. So if you have 3 agility, you probably won't want to take reinforced because it would drop your physical defense by 2 just to increase it by 1. That'd be silly. But here's the part where it shines, and here's the part which kind of balance checks agility. So if you have 1 agility, and that's what your agility is, your agility literally is 1, then the max of prime -2 brings you to 1, and that's now the same. So great, that's actually really great. So characters with only 1 agility can take reinforced for free, technically. That's great. It helps these lower agility characters be able to wear this a little bit more bulky armor to give them a little bit of physical defense. There you go, reinforced, awesome, right? Shows a little bit of love to the non-high agility characters, also making it to the possible to where you don't feel like you have to max out your agility. You have choices, right? If you want to, you still can, and that's the high. You'll have the highest physical defense if you do max out agility, right? But this gives a little bit of love just in case you don't want to. Next 2 modifications are sturdy, which is for light armor only, and then dense for heavy armor only. So for sturdy, light armor, you increase your physical defense by 1. At the cost of wearing armor. Now you have disadvantage on agility checks, just like how heavy armor does. And that's what this chart shows. Yes, you do gain +1 to your physical defense. Oof, but now you have disadvantage on those agility checks. You're a little bit too clunky now, right? Cool, done. Heavy armor though, this now gets you the ability to have dense added to your armor. So dense gives you 1 physical damage reduction. Oh my gosh, you would have 2 physical damage reduction at level 1. That's a lot, right? Now, yes, physical damage reduction does get bypassed by heavy and brutal hits. Yes, that is easier to get in DC20 because of different ways you can get advantage or help or all that kind of stuff. But 2 physical damage reduction is going to take most hits at level 1 down to nothing because most monsters deal 1 damage. Some monsters deal 2 damage. Really scary monsters would deal 3 damage. So 2 physical damage reduction, not too bad. And the negative cost is 1 speed. It is going to be while wearing heavy armor, your speed decreases by 1. Oof, ouch. Oof, -1 speed. Right now, Which brings me to another a little update here as far as a sneak peek update is there is and this is the first time that I've said this live in a video, so here it is. The baseline movement in DC20 is being upgraded to 5 spaces of movement. It is no longer 4 spaces of movement is the normal base movement speed. The base movement speed is now 5. And there's some other things they're working on in the background. I think this is going to be definitely a great step in the right direction. It's going to feel a lot better. Closes the divide between a couple of martial classes and range characters, gives a little bit more movement out there. There you go. So now the base movement speed is 5. So now if you have an ancestry and you're a monk or whatever, you'll be even more mobile. Love it, right? So this also makes this speed -1 not as bad because you have a little more movement speed to work with. So it makes heavy armor shine just a little bit more in that regard. So I think it puts it all in a really great spot. So max agility bonus, we already talked about that, and that's what the penalty is as well for that we've talked about before. This that we talked about a second ago about prime -2. That's what this is, and then also how this comes across as far as your starting armor, and that's the biggest thing I want to talk about here is when you create your character at level 1 and you have a character and it's in your backstory, your grandfather gave you this armor that's been passed down from thing, and you wear this armor from your family of long heritage of all this stuff. At level 1, when you first create your character, you can give it whatever armor modifications you want. You can only do each modification once, of course, but you can give it those modifications, and they're free. They are absolutely free. They cost nothing. You can just choose to have them or not. Done. At character creation, they are free. Now, once the game starts, here we go. You're live, you're playing. Now you would have to actually go to a blacksmith and find a blacksmith to actually put that on your armor, to be able to find a blacksmith or a leather worker, whoever that is able to put that modification on your armor. And right now, again, this is all in the alpha. It's going to be something around 10 gold or so to apply it, maybe 5 gold to take it off, because you are able to add on reinforce the armor, and then, oh, never mind, I want to take it off, and you can take it back off or whatever. Maybe you're going on a stealth mission and you want to add on some sort of stealthiness or remove the thing that makes you all clunky. You get the idea. You can add or take away these armor modifications for a small cost of 5 or 10 gold, right? But we'll elaborate on that more in future updates. But that is the armor update. That's huge. And a sneak peek of the speed update. I'm going to try and also add the speed update to this 0.6.1. It's literally being worked on now as I'm making this video, but it is live right now at the point of you seeing this video. 2 other big things that are going to be in the 0.6.1 is health. The new health system is being updated. The new base for health is 6 plus character level plus might, instead of 5 plus 2 times your character level plus might. Basically, the base is increased by 1, but it no longer is 2 times your level. It is only 1 time your level. Now, this keeps health the exact same at level 1. It does not change, because instead of 2 times per level, it's only 1, and instead of a base of 5, it's 6. So those offset each other, right? But what this does is scaling. So every level, you only gain 1 hit point now instead of 2. It also lets us be able to look at the class tables and give more health to the class tables. And it also lets might shine a little bit more, because might is a bigger picture of the puzzle as far as the pieces that go into your health. Might is a bigger percentage of that. So might gets a little bit stronger there too. Awesome. And grit points is the final update. Grit points, you now start off, instead of a grit points being a base of 0, you have, as an adventurer, you're an adventurer, you're a level 1 adventurer, you got a little bit of grit in you to kind of push through, you're an adventurer to kind of fight for your life and all that stuff. You got a base grit of 2. So your grit points start off at 2. So if you have a 0 grit, or sorry, charisma, if you're not familiar with grit points from all the different updates, grit points are based off of your charisma. So if you have a 0 charisma, that means you have 2 grit points. If you have 1, 2, 3 charisma, that means you have 5 grit points. Wow. But if you tank your charisma, and charisma is your dump stat, and you bring it down to a -2, you lose those grit points and you have no grit points, which means you don't get advantage on certain saves that you want. And another sneak peek into the future, there's going to be another thing added in 0.7 or 8 where you actually can do one more thing with your grit points to maybe reduce some damage. I don't want to say anything else, but that's the big picture. That's the update, and I'm super excited to share that with y'all. And the armor system, lots of stuff to help streamline the game. And another huge thing with 0.6.1 is errors and fixes and updates. I had my whole editing team go through that thing with a fine-tooth comb, and that's why it's being done literally right now by the editing. Make sure the PDF's good, the document's good, everything's good. So the errors are going to be nice and cleaned up. super awesome and great. And if you're interested in seeing this thing go to the finish line, stay tuned. Check out the Kickstarter link. Click notify. Get ready so that you can jump on it as soon as it happens. The sooner you jump on and back the Kickstarter at whatever level you're thinking about, even if it's just the PDF or just the book or whatever other things that are going on there, it's going to be a massive help to the future of this game and the future of how much content we can make for this game and what all the stuff else we can put out there for it. So check that out. Links down in the description. You guys are awesome. Stay creative. Think outside the box. Peace.